Dear Diamonds and fellow Diamonds in the Rough. There's a saying that goes, you never want to meet your heroes. And in this instance, for me personally, you never want to meet the voice actor behind your favorite character in Genshin Impact. My favorite character in Genshin Impact is, and it still is, Diluc. Diluc is the 5-star character I started with. I think he's pretty cool. And to this day, I feel like nothing really in the roster fully challenged his #1 position here in my heart. Now, a lot of things are happening with the VA of Diluc in the English VA, to be very, very specific, in which VA, in which language Diluc is being voiced in. In the English voice actor of Diluc, Sean Shiplock, he's facing massive accusations of something we've already seen before with Tainari's original English voice actor, which is accusation of grooming a 14-year-old boy. Why is it that every time we're on the internet, out of nowhere, we're just sitting here minding our own business? I don't know, we're just waiting for Jade to release, waiting to get a hunky Starbucks character, and all of a sudden we have some form of predatory action by some dude we would have never seen that kind of behavior coming from. This was a video made by Mugen. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen the tweets days prior to this. I was like, I don't know if I want to see this. Maybe it's a nothing burger. But if Mugen talked about it, I'm pretty sure there's smoke, and when there's smoke, there's fire. So because of Mugen, we're gonna have to talk about this because Diluc is dear to my heart, and I really like the work Sean Shiplock did with Diluc. I really like his voice acting and everything. I feel like he does a fantastic job at Diluc. So I'm not gonna lie, chat, this might hurt me, but because I am a fan. So as a fan, let's see what the fuck happened.
Guys, can we just please stop messaging minors? Is it really that hard?
Bro, preach. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So just don't talk to kids. If they talk to you, be like, hey, kiddo, always remind them that you're a kid. And because that they are a kid, right? But teenagers, unfortunately, are a gray area and can develop feelings. So you gotta nip that shit in the bud, right? But like, bro, don't initiate though. Unless something happened and you're concerned and you've seen something happen, you just text them like, hey, I seen this. Are you okay? This is something like this. Are you okay? That's when it's okay, I guess. You're making sure they're okay and all that. All right. So let's continue.
Dude, come on, man. Like, please, can we talk about other things that aren't as criminal? So around a year ago.
That's what I said. Y'all remember this shit? There it is. I did talk about this before. We've already seen a similar situation. I hope this is a nothing burger. I think this guy, a lot of people had massive receipts for him to get the fuck out. But I don't know about Chan though. We'll see.
2023. Elliot Gindi, as seen on the left, voiced a character in Genshin Impact by the name of Tanari. This was like one of his first major roles, and he already had a community of passionate fans in his Discord server.
Yep.
But one day, out of nowhere, his mods compiled an entire document pretty much listing every occurrence in which he took advantage of.
How can a little girl simp for that ugly ass motherfucker? Well, you know what they say, Skara, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Minors due to his status in their favorite game. He would force them into inappropriate conversations and would pressure them to carry on, because when they would want to leave, he would say, well, if you stop talking to me, I'm just gonna kill myself. Like, he was a terrible person, completely taking advantage of people who are vulnerable, minors. As soon as that document
it's that dark.
All the voice actors in the industry called out his behavior and ostracized him, completely expelling him from the community, with Hoyoverse, Genshin Impact's developer, immediately firing him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Calling him out, firing him, and looking for a replacement, and re-recorded all his lines. Now, as I mentioned, this was probably his first ever major role in something. This led to some people criticizing Hoyoverse or the studio they hired of not doing enough of a thorough background check to really understand who they were hiring.
How the fuck are they supposed to know that? How? I could be one right now. You can tell. Like, bro, it's so difficult to see. There's absolutely no way, unless they do something that they themselves are gonna basically self-report on themselves. You can't know.
Work with Diluc, Noob Saibot, and if I remember correctly, Subaru from ReZero.
Wait, he's Noob Saibot too? No. I love Noob Saibot's voice actor. He's Noob Saibot. Are we sure? No way. No way. He's not. You're not Noob Saibot. It is him! Double shock! He voices Noob too! I like Noob's voice actor! We share blood. We are not brothers. How the fuck? This guy is talented. Oh man, why the... Look what he did. Bro, you're good! You're... Fuck! Why did you do this?
This hurts me more than it hurts you.
No way, bro. God damn it.
Genshin's English voice actors are very talented, but unfortunately something like this had left a dark stain on the community as a whole. And everyone was just hoping that it wouldn't happen again.
Well, here we go.
Here we are today, right? On July 1st, 2024, a Twitter user by the name of Rena made this post with almost 4 million views, pretty much directly accusing Sean Chiplock, the voice actor for Diluc in Genshin Impact, but also the voice actor of Rivali from The Legend of Zelda,
Really?
of being a groomer. The victim in question being a 15-year-old. And this whole thing is such a mess, dude. In fact, this isn't even the first time this has been brought up.
A 15-year-old trans boy, to be very specific.
This incident can be traced back to the end of 2013.
Yeah, I've seen this. It goes pretty deep. And apparently, that's why I didn't want to cover it. I was like, okay, maybe it's just the same shit and people are really trying to smear his reputation. But well, let's continue, dude. I'm scared, to be honest.
The victim had made a DeviantArt post talking about it. They then proceeded to leave the internet. And ever since then, there's been other people like Rena who have been bringing it up over and over, either on Tumblr, on Reddit, and now on Twitter. The main difference this time, though, is that not only have we reached 4 million views on the post, but the victim themselves, the person who had difference this time, though, is that not only have we reached 4 million views on the post, but the victim themselves, the person who had written that post on DeviantArt in 2013, is now back on Twitter to talk about it.
Ah, here we go.
I wanted to make a video about this, but seeing that it has so many views and has left so many people confused,
He had to reply.
I thought I'd make this video being neutral, presenting all the information to you and its backstory, so that way you can...
Okay, yeah, so it is as I thought. We don't have conclusive evidence to really go, yeah, he done fucked. We don't have enough receipts, I guess, to fully say, yeah, bro is a predator. But there's a lot of smoke, it seems. There's a lot of smoke. It really sucks because Sean is actually pretty good as a VA and he voices a lot of characters I'm familiar with. Bro, like, me too, man. Me too, Brainer. Me too. Noob, Cybot too, bitch. Bro. God damn it.
Conclusions, and we can move on from this. So yeah, let's get right into this mess. Sean Chiplock is a seasoned voice actor. He has dubbed some pretty high-profile anime, been in series,
He's in Dragon Ball 2.
video games. He's done a lot
Persona.
of things. People know him for a variety of different things, but he's most known for his dub of Diluc in Genshin
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
in The Legend of Zelda. Additionally, he also voiced Teba, Sage of Wind, and the Great Deku Tree in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, on July 1st, this tweet was made by Rena, aka Auraval, in which they say, when I was 13, Sean Chiplock, adding his professional account, aka VA Sonic Mega, which is the account he uses the most. I don't know, maybe it's his persona, I'm not too sure. Attempted to groom a 15-year-old trans boy. That person was my friend, but he left the internet, so the only person left to tell the story is me. So Rena here is speaking on behalf of the victim, who was 15 at the time, and they were 13, right? And as I mentioned, this isn't the first time this has been brought up. 2013 was the first time this was ever brought up by the victim themselves. And this tweet just reuses many of the explanations and screenshots provided here. In 2018, a Reddit post was made in r/anime dubs about the situation, and in 2019, a Tumblr post was made providing a bit more information as well. It has never gained this much traction though. As I said, we're sitting at 4 million views here of people who saw this in their feed. Rena continues, saying Casper was a 15-year-old on Fur Affinity, which is, well, do I really want to open this on my browser? I didn't think I'd have to go to a website like this to make a video on this.
Bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Man, get your ass out of here.
But here we are. Fur Affinity, everybody. I guess it's like a furry image board, a forum. Let's just say a furry community. And let me just delete this from my history real quick. In any case, this is where Casper and Sean Chiplock got in contact. They messaged each other.
Now we know that you will never find Mujin's porn in his browser. He does not leave any evidence of cranking, okay? He doesn't.
In the Fur Affinity notes, which is DMs, I guess, and then move their conversation to Skype. Again, this is all from Casper's perspective, right? This is their accusations. So here are the screenshots that were included. This is just a screenshot from the initial DeviantArt post made in 2013. So Sonic Mega, which is here allegedly Sean Chiplock,
allegedly
starts off the conversation on August 28th, 2013 at 2 a.m. saying, is this the part where I awkward type in a RP paragraph and then send nudes while asking for free art, or am I doing this furry thing wrong? Signing off the end of the sentence with his furry name, I think, which is Pommy. Remember, this post on DeviantArt was made by the victim themselves, who goes by Casper. This is what they had to say about Sonic Mega's first message. That made me vaguely uncomfortable, but realizing that it was probably just a joke regarding some particular branches of the furry fandom, I brushed it off and began conversing with him normally regardless.
Sure.
I tried to be an open-minded and friendly person, so despite my initial reservations, I decided to just give the guy a shot and get to know him. However, as the discussion came more and more unusually, an excerpt from our conversation can be seen below. So here we can see Sonic Mega say this. Yeah, I'm pretty shameless, so sometimes when people in Skype chats get too rowdy or RP horny, especially if they're gay, which I'm not, I like to record snippets just for them to rile them up, either as the deep-voiced Dom or the extremely pleasured sub. Casper says, oh my god, what? I'm choking, and then Sonic Mega just proceeds to send an MP3 file by the name of Consolation Hole, saying, enjoy, and then continues. This was after I started teasing one of them half-assedly and the other was getting mad that I was being detailed with only that person. Casper then says, am I going to laugh or cry? It's like a game of Russian roulette. To which Sonic Mega says, and then you realize that the same exact person who did that also did this, sending another MP3 file, this time titled formax.mp3. Now, according to Casper, who made this post, these MP3 files were pretty much Sean moaning and fake orgasming, and they were just sent to someone who was 15.
Why would you do that? Why would you make that? Does that even have any good effect? I don't know. It's like if I hear moaning and I don't see imagery, it's like, okay.
And then the last screenshots in this DeviantArt post.
He doesn't know he's 15. He's in an 18+ site. Touche. Touche.
Are of Sonic Mega, except you can't see his name here. Well, this is probably more just ignorance and stupidity, but as a male trapped in a female...
Okay, as we were saying before we continue here, there is a good point that was made, which is, how is Sean supposed to know that this is a 15-year-old while they are in an 18+ site, right? Pretty good. That's a good argument. We're not going to lie, but I don't know. We don't have enough information yet. So let's just continue.
Exact person who did that also did this, sending another MP3 file, this time titled formax.mp3. Now, according to Casper and to Rena, who made this post, these MP3 files were pretty much Sean moaning and fake orgasming, and they were just sent to someone who was 15. And then the last screenshots...
Again, we don't know if he knew he was 15. We don't know.
This DeviantArt post are of Sonic Mega, except you can't see his name here. Here's what he had to say. Well, this is probably more just ignorance and stupidity, but as a male trapped in a female's body, are your fantasies still inherently female, or do you end up having ones more typically expected of males? For instance, if you do masturbate, do you tend to have thoughts regarding being filled/taken, etc., or do you still like to fantasize about doing the filling? I'm just simply fascinated by the complexity and capability of the mind, so opportunities like this pique my interest. Casper then says, I do have evidence of the conversations between Pommy and I, though I...
Okay, so this is probably just my ignorance, but as a male trapped in a female's body, your fantasy is still inherently female, or do you end up having ones more typically expected of males?
Even if though he was talking to an adult. WTF.
Okay, Korapuro, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. This is the internet. A lot of this shit happens.
I've deleted the audio files he sent to me, otherwise I'd consider making it a legal issue because I am a minor, 15 years of age, and he's a grown man. So,
or did he know?
This was also mentioned in the Tumblr post and is being mentioned in the tweet that was made recently. But the tweet does give us more context, because Rena adds, this journal and this story have been buried to time for multiple reasons, but the main reason it was buried to time was that Sean himself lied about it. He pretended the DMs were with a different of age person entirely and not a 15-year-old boy.
So these messages are true and it is him. He's not denying it's him. Okay.
So these screenshots are from a Reddit thread that was made in r/anime dubs back in 2018, titled PSA on Sean Chiplock, dub actor. He sent unsolicited orgasm recordings to a teenager when he was 23. So Sonic Mega, who is Sean Chiplock, his flair on Reddit also has the link to his MyAnimeList profile, and he has done an AMA on this subreddit before with this username, had this replying to all these accusations and pretty much giving proof as to why they're false. He says the person in that screenshot was Melanie Herring /Purple Kekleon /Glitch Puppet and many other names, and she is most certainly not a minor. In fact, she's older than me. And then he links her profile on Bulba Garden. I have no idea what this is.
This is Bulba Garden is a Pokemon one. I remember this site. It was pretty good.
I want to know, right? But it does say that she's 35 in her bio. However, I don't really see how it relates to the original accuser. Regardless, he then says that he would never send unsolicited lewd material to anyone, audio or otherwise, without getting a prior okay first, because his career is too precious to him and he would never want to risk it over something that's stupid.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Talks more about Melanie Herring, the person he's saying was in the DMs with him, saying that she's infamous for doing a complete 180 on people who are no longer on her good side. According to him...
Yeah, that's classic. A lot of bitches do that. Even dudes do that. I feel like a lot of people do that typically.
Worked on a few projects together, but then he saw how she was treating the people who were trying to help her on Twitter very badly. So he called her out, and in his own words says he made an inappropriate comment regarding her relationship troubles, to which he has acknowledged and apologized for. And then he says, The reality is that while we were working together, there were plenty of friendly conversations we had with each other, including many voice requests she asked me to do for humor's sake. But as soon as I was no longer in her good graces, I simply became the next target of her vitriol. She already previously once sent her fanbase out to call every studio I'd worked for to try and get me fired. Thankfully, nothing permanent
Classic.
came of it. Although I no longer involve myself with her business, it's my understanding that she continues to do this to many others who cross paths with her even today. The entire reason why she's under so much fire right now is because people finally got fed up with her behavior, and the stories/anecdotes from those she harassed came crashing down on her all at once.
Okay,
Bear in
good.
mind that the thing
Justice.
she's talking about here happened in 2018 when he posted this reply. He ends his statement by saying that Melanie and her partner are currently under investigation for conversations and past actions involving bestiality and actually grooming minors for sex. Yeah, you heard that right. Yeah, bestiality. Among other things. And a Kiwi Farms link is insane. Look, this is an entirely different rabbit hole that I have no interest in going under.
Yeah, that's me too, man. Yeah,
He's indeed a very troubled individual. So here's how that relates to this current situation. What Sean is pretty much saying is that all of this is being fabricated by Melanie to ruin his reputation. when in
Okay,
reality,
sure.
Everything was consensual and nothing really weird happened with any minors, all right? Now what Rena's saying is that this was all fake. He simply replaced Casper with Melanie. Regardless, this thread gave an opportunity to people who might have had a problem with Sean to voice their opinion and talk about their past experiences. For example, here's what this person had to say. Oh, this reminds me of the time he asked me a really erratic/inappropriate question when I met him in a convention, and even though he apologized profusely, it still embarrassed me. Like, why would you do that? I'm obviously a teenager. I actually look like one. Like, you can see someone here tagging voice actors from Genshin and other properties, like these two right here, saying, y'all follow, by the way, pressuring them to stop following. But even though it seemed like many of the replies were turning on him,
Bro is like, hey, this is bad PR for y'all, man. W commenter, dude. Somehow I always end up getting connected to the gacha community. Dude, bro, how does this keep happening? We just had Dr. Disrespect the other day. Like, what? It's like at every fucking turn, there's some weirdo we just find out about. Like, they were doing some shit. Like, god damn it.
some people had things like this to say. I'm so serious when I say I'd love to see proof of this person having their age in bio or sending their age to him, because this can literally be just him thinking it was an adult like he has said.
Yeah, I do agree with this commenter right here, literally. Until that is confirmed, this is just smoke.
And like every other false claim about him, that ended up being debunked. Now, I don't know about that last sentence, but there were questions, right? Like, why is it that the most incriminating part of all this, the voice messages, were deleted? Why is it that we can't see Sonic Mega's name in the last screenshots? Why is it that we don't see the entire conversation for more context? Now, yes, the initial post was made back in 2013, 11 years ago.
Okay.
It would be hard to get that info now, but these questions were there anyway. But that doesn't mean that this post going so viral didn't make many people look at it and just think, oh, so Sean Chiplock is a pedophile, and that's that. Sean ended up having to respond. A day later, he quote tweeted Rena's post once it gained a lot of traction, and here's what he had to say. I refuse to continue to entertain an oft-repeated, long outdated, always
Often
on behalf of
repeated.
another accusation stemming from a community where a literal groomer continues to manipulate and harass their victims. I'm not even upset, just frustrated at what you've been told to believe. Now look, full disclosure, I have no idea who he's referring to. The groomer who continues to manipulate and harass their victims, zero idea. Maybe someone in the
Who? What is that? We know? He knows? Yo, chat, what is this community we're in? What is this community, chat? Ain't that the Mela something? Bro, I have no idea. The fuck you mean? We're a little groomer. Who? Bring them to justice. What the fuck? I was like, oh, y'all blaming me while real motherfuckers that are doing that shit are still getting away with it. It's like, bro, what? Tainari? He's talking about the Tainari one? Always on behalf of another accusation stemming from a community where a literal groomer continues. He said continues. Didn't that guy stop? Like, that guy stopped. One with lolly characters, I guess. Who? This is so weird, dude.
The comments can let me know, but yeah, so far, I don't even know what he's referring to. But anyway, he continues. Every year, I am made to have to address this time and time again with
Yeah, I've seen
clients,
this.
communities, colleagues. Every year, I'm forced to revisit this, and the person who began it all, laying out every detail because my literal career is on the line. Every year, it is debunked. There have been so many opportunities for those who work with me to have researched, investigated, and come to their own conclusions about what is said of me. I am extremely grateful that those conclusions have all been the same. That is not how I act. That is not how I behave. Unfortunately, my choice to be involved with someone who proved to be incredibly toxic and vindictive resulted in repercussions I'm now dealing with over a decade later, and I hope I can use
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. What Sean is saying is kind of true. A lot of people you meet, they basically become a curse for your life. Like you regret the day you met them, and you regret the day they got you in their radar. Some people needs a lot of leave alone. You don't want those people, dude. I was just saying.
That lesson to caution others about who or what they associate themselves with online. This thread won't matter. After enough time has passed, the topic will surface again, a new eager audience will be found, and I will once again have new angry faces to look at. All I can do in response is my best, and to show that in word and action, I am better than that. But as long as I'm going to be forced to go through all of this again, I at least want to thank everyone who has taken the time, the effort, and the patience to do due diligence, and to continue to work with me after they've had the chance to make a firm decision for themselves. That all being said, I genuinely appreciate that people are so adamant about signal boosting reports and spreading the word about something that concerns them. Being willing to speak up is a huge deal and matters a ton in helping victims find the help/resolution they deserve. He ends this thread by saying, TLDR, I did not groom a minor and never have. Any claim otherwise is patently false.
Okay.
Sorry I didn't lead with this sooner. So of course, here he's referencing Melanie yet again, blaming her for the reason why this has resurfaced and continues to resurface even 10 years later. And this was exactly what had happened with a Tumblr post, with a DeviantArt post, with a Reddit post, right? But of course, it had never blown to this proportion. It had never reached millions.
Is that Diluc's VA drama? Yes.
Already reached those millions of people, and it had, of course, had a very negative impact on Sean because now many of his fans might think he's a groomer. This would have ended the exact same way as the other situations. It would have died here until Casper, the person who wrote up the original.
Oh shit! Here we go.
And who Rena was speaking on behalf of, came out with this post on July 2nd, right after Sean's reply, right after he made this whole thread about saying I refuse to continue to entertain this rumor. In it, Casper says, I am the Casper in these logs. I'm choosing to come forward to add credibility to these allegations and to say that I stand by the claims made in my original journal written in 2014. Casper here is referring to the DeviantArt post. It was written in December 2013 though, but it could have been a mistake. Regardless, Casper ends the statement by saying this: Sean Chiplock is a creep. Casper then continues the thread. I was born December 10th, 1998. I just realized the exchange actually took place in August of 2013 when I was 14. I turned 15 3 days after writing my original journal about this event in December. I am amending my statement for the sake of accuracy. I was a 14-year-old child when Sean Chiplock sent me unsolicited sexual voice clips and asked me invasive questions about masturbation. I do not have access to accounts from 11 years ago to supply more evidence. I am under no illusion that Sean will face any legal repercussions. I came forward to put a name to my story and further substantiate the claims that were made on my behalf. I am a childhood sexual assault survivor. I am not proud of everything I have done in response to trauma, especially as a minor actively being groomed. That is why we grow. I have no intention of becoming active in the furry fandom again, nor discussing this matter further in the future. Then, guys, out of nowhere, right? No one was expecting this. Sean did something that arguably Dr. Disrespect had done when he was first accused of grooming. From an objective point of view, he wrote a terribly worded response that didn't really reach the audience the way he was hoping. Here's what he said in reply to this post by Casper. Casper, if you'll permit me to speak with you, I would be grateful to have the conversation you should have been allowed a long time ago about what you experienced. More than anything, I want you to be able to properly express your frustrations and to apologize for my own behavior. Yeah, that looks bad, right? That looks really bad. He does explain why he wrote this later, but for now, as someone who was just orbiting around wondering what's going to happen, not really having a solid opinion on whether he's guilty or not, you read this, it doesn't help. Casper replies to this saying, I don't want to have a private conversation with you. Waking up to this whole ordeal has already been triggering and made me exceedingly uncomfortable. All I want from you is to stop deflecting the blame to PK, admit that the screenshots are real, and apologize. So PK here, of course, is Melanie, the person he has blamed for all this, to which Sean says, without access to the original log/conversation, I have no way of being able to verify that what's being shared isn't edited or modified. I'm not comfortable arguing the truth of something I can't even look at for myself from a community that proved to be full of manipulation. And then adds, this doesn't change the fact that if I made you uncomfortable in any way, I am genuinely sorry. It was wrong of me to assume anything of you without asking first, and I would never want to take advantage of anyone. I apologize for ever making you or anyone feel otherwise. So as I already mentioned, Sean's replies to Casper's thread didn't really have the intended effect he was hoping for. Here are a couple of reactions to this. As a fan of your work, Sean, this isn't a good look or response. This is admitting you did this.
Yeah.
At this point, own up.
But he didn't know he was a kid. And what the fuck is the kid doing in an 18+ site? But then again, let's face it, all of us as teenagers. Yo, chat, type 1 if you went to +18 sites as a teenager and you lied about it. Type 2 if you're like, no. I never touched those, man. No, illegal. I have to reach 18 before I can watch that shit. Yeah, there we go. Don't lie, Chad. Don't lie. Like, we're family out here. Like, don't lie. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, kids don't give a fuck, especially teenagers. Teenagers don't give a fuck. Like, they'll lie like a motherfucker to just, oh, are you 18 before you enter this site? Are you 18? Oh, yeah, I'm in. Oh, yeah, woohoo. Oh, yes, I'm 18. I'm cranking it right now as a 15-year-old. Yeah, I'm definitely 18. Let me watch that shit, right? Like, bro, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's the truth. A lot of teenagers do that, and I don't know how Sean could have known about it, but this is one sticky situation. The ultimate thing is you should have known better when things like these happen and your actions have severe consequences. You were the adult and you should have done more due diligence. And ultimately, the fault always falls into the adult. Should have known better, should have done better. But I mean, how the fuck was he supposed to know too? What a sticky situation.
Don't back down and don't make it private now that it's in the open. Someone else says, is this you confirming that the allegations are true?
Yeah, that's how it sounds to me too. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm a bit confused on that. So people are pretty much saying, oh, so you're admitting it. Like, you're apologizing. You're saying, hey, sorry for making you uncomfortable. Like, what's going on here? Why didn't you deny it like you did earlier before this post? It was a crazy switch up going from I'm tired of entertaining this to, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. After this exchange, Casper quote tweets Sean's apology and says this: I've muted this thread and will not reply to further attempts to discredit me or bring up my past trauma. Sean has stopped denying correspondence with me and expressed a desire to apologize, which speaks for itself as far as I'm concerned. Casper also replied to the initial thread of Sean saying, I refuse to entertain this rumor. If we scroll down here, you'll see Casper saying, oh, just shut up, Sean. You know what happened. I know what happened. We really don't have to play pretend. If I could go back and change one thing, I would have given myself the foresight to record the voice clips and include them in the original DeviantArt journal. Then Sean says, telling me to just shut up and accept serious accusations you can't even back up with verifiable evidence is incredibly suspicious, as is saying I denied you correspondence when I had no idea how to even reach you and manipulating a concerned apology as an admission of guilt. Sean then quote tweets the initial apology that didn't really make him look very good and says, a preliminary apology to being told you made me uncomfortable is not an admission of guilt. I continue to vehemently reject any accusation / claim that I would groom, abuse, or otherwise take advantage of any individual under any circumstances.
Sure, fair enough.
Equal
culpability, fair enough.
So after this, people started coming out with weird things that in their opinion Sean had said, or weird DMs they had received from him. He had stopped interacting with any of this and moved on, but Casper stayed active. Like, for example, someone posted this tweet made by Sean on his Sonic Mega account that doesn't exist anymore. As you can see, it's been suspended. I don't really know the details behind this, but it doesn't exist anymore. In which he says, if an 18-plus-year-old mature text role plays with a minor, but both their characters are at least consensual age, is it still pedophilia? Casper replies with another tweet they find weird, where someone says, what if one day you do change into your persona? The only catch is the species will be your high school mascot. I'd be a husky. And Sean says, I'd be a pedophile. Also making tweets like, if I was alone in this, it still wouldn't be acceptable, but it's notably disturbing that I'm not the only person who was on the receiving end of inappropriate sexual messages from Sean as a minor. Worst case scenario, it's predatory. Best case scenario, this behavior is reckless and creepy. Sean needs to be way more careful about how he speaks to people he does not know on the internet.
100%.
The person who posted this, I can't verify whether this is real, photoshopped, whatever, but it's pretty much them messaging Sean on his Sonic Mega account, which doesn't exist anymore, saying, Rivali made me gay and it's all your fault, with Sean replying with, I'll kiss your There's also now a TikTok with almost
what the fuck is this? You made me gay, it's all your fault. I'll kiss your dick to make it better. Oh shit. Cinema, chat. Cinema.
There's also now a TikTok with almost 700,000 views in which it pretty much just shows Diluc with the caption, guess which Genshin English voice actor got outed for liking kids? And there are so many comments here that believe this 100% and they're already that it is truth, it is reality, it's factual. There's even a news article that was written about this by The Gamer with the title, Zelda actor Sean Chiplock responds to accusations of grooming a 14-year-old boy. This was never done before. Anytime this was brought up, this topic, it was just in these niche little communities like DeviantArt and Tumblr and never really made it out. But with this tweet being at almost 4 million views, as you can see, that is no longer the case.
Yeah.
But overall, this is a complete mess that spans an entire decade and involves people from the furry community, the DeviantArt community, the Tumblr community.
Bro, the fact that it has the furry community, you already know this is gonna be messy as fuck. But bro, there's so much. This is a messy salad.
Hell, even kiwi farms. There are two sides to this, and this is really up to you to decide whether Sean is actually a groomer or not, whether he's actually guilty of doing the things he's done, or he's being framed like he's saying he is. All I know is that there are no other voice actors that have talked about this. Hoyoverse did not indicate any reason to fire him, and hell, it's not just about Hoyoverse anymore. It's not just about Genshin. It's also about Nintendo, who has worked with him not on just one character evolving, but on multiple characters, in just The Legend of Zelda, as well as some pretty big anime dubs like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Topics like this do affect
JoJo too? Oh, bro, he's working working. Bro's getting paid.
Right? But as I mentioned in the intro of this video, this gained a lot of traction and left many people confused. So I hope that this video at least gave you enough information to make up your own opinion, and that whatever ends up happening is the best outcome. Please stay safe out there, especially if you're a minor, and thank you
absolutely
so much. I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is, and mwah.
If you're a minor and you're on the internet and someone is talking inappropriate to you, the first thing you want to do is make sure you tell them, hey, no, I'm 16 or 15. I've seen this happen a lot in the streets. You know, some guy would approach a girl, right? You know, it's very tricky, especially for girls. A bitch be 20 and she looks like she's 16, right? Like, you can't know. It's very difficult. Like, girls are a different ball game from when they're teenagers in like 18, 19, 20. It's very difficult to guess in which age she ranks, right? So basically, the only thing that's kind of telling is the environment. If you're at a club, if you're somewhere, right? Not me looking 16, being 29. There we go. Right? It's pretty difficult for the ladies. I've seen dudes go up to girls. He'd be like, hey, like, I'm talking to this, la, 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 la. Let me get your number. Let me get you this. She's like, I'm 16. Sorry. And she's like, and he's like, oh, shit. And just runs the fuck away, right? But it's very important to let motherfuckers know you're not of age. It's very important, right? And if then they continue to do that shit, yeah, call the cops on them bitches, man. Get them pieces of shit out of our lives, for sure. But it's an icky situation because he has the ignorance type shit.
My brain isn't braining. Why is a kid doing in the furry community?
Okay, Drago, you gotta understand that teenagers are teenagers. Let's not sit here and pretend teenagers are these squeaky clean kids, so innocent. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Teenagers be doing and be going in nasty places on the internet. They're discovering themselves. They're just started, okay? They wanna fit in. They wanna be somewhere where they fit in, right? Okay, and any kid, teenager, not kid, any teenager in a furry site, what the fuck you doing there, bro? What the fuck you doing there? Furry is all about these weird fetishes. What the fuck you doing there? All right? So, I don't know. This is very weird. I feel like technically ignorance doesn't always protect you, I feel like. I mean, Sean you should always ask, always know if you're talking sexy with someone. You gotta know. You got to know who the fuck you're talking to. Why do you think people date before they do something? You got to know the person you're with before engaging in any form of sexual stuff, like whatever form. Am I nuts with that take, chat? Am I nuts? Why is it that he just went in with no pants on? Like, oh my God. Either way, I'm not gonna lie, I am very much let down by bro. It's disappointing. Bro, okay, so we had M-Tash, disappointed. And now we have Sean Shiplock, disappointed. Who's next? Who's next, man? Who's next? God damn it. What do you guys think? Do you think it's too much smoke that a person can't just ignore what the fuck was said? Or do you think bro was just ignorant and didn't know what the fuck? I don't know, bro. This is one hell of a messy situation. We have no definitive proof as to who knew what and what knew what. And he has the card of, I was ignorant to the fact. But then again, the law does not protect the ignorant and the dumb. So I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think. I, for one, whatever form it takes, I don't think Sean can come out of this smelling good. Like, I think when you're in a shitstorm, you're going to come out smelling like shit. When you're in a shitstorm like this, you're never going to come out smelling like roses. You're going to come out smelling like shit. And I do feel like Sean is definitely not smelling right now. That's just me, though. That's just me. Like, comment, subscribe. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.